your business.
Yeah, it's sure to promote your
We'll hook you
business
up,
and
baby.
get you the customers and help you meet that quota. Any event, this is what we do here
I'll
on
put my voice
the
on
Curtis and Jessica Variety Talk Show. We have fun. We like to laugh. We have a good time. So, again, we welcome you here on our live show. If you're tuning in, we appreciate you considering the fact that, hey, the Curtis and Jessica show is on. So let me tune in. So, again, thanks for tuning in. We're going to talk about what I want to talk about now. Jessica had fun with the sharks and the poor mishap and the shark dying.
The Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
The Good Samaritan.
That's interesting. That's very interesting because
task
I
gone
don't know.
sour.
Are they still considered Good Samaritans?
No, they're bad ruiners.
But I don't know if that's fair though, Jessica, because they had all the intentions on helping the poor shark, and again, just didn't.
Shark eats the people.
Just
now all of a sudden, people want to save the shark.
Just wasn't
Look how
educated.
it turned out. They messed it all up.
How do you get mad at the shark?
I'm mad at the people. They messed it all up.
But it sounds like you have an issue with the shark because the shark has been eating people and these horrible stories for years, and so now now the shark deserves to die in the water.
There could have been a possibility that shark was maybe still had a little bit of life, but they drugged the thing by its tail.
Yeah.
And threw it back into the water.
All right, enough about
then
sharks.
What happens when it goes into the water? Does it go on its side and float around? What do they do with it after that?
I don't know.
Okay, let's move on to your topic.
All
Boom.
right, cool. All right, we are talking about my topic now, and that's going to be, I'm going to save the best for last because I think that very first topic that I mentioned.
I got the best one for last.
I got the best for last. But in any event, I'm going to save the best for last, and I'm going to talk about automation in the workplace. And again, not as boring as it sounds, because I read an article a little while ago, and I know there's a love-hate relationship with Walmart, and Jessica has her own issues with that.
The big mart. The giant mart.
I have my own as well. And as she said, I think one of our trial runs here, the big mart. And my response was, yeah, everybody knows what the big mart is. In any event, this issue is not as boring as it sounds. I think that it's very interesting. Again, everyone has their love-hate relationship with Walmart, but many of us shop there. I do too.
The big mart.
Big mart, yeah, big mart. I can't stand the place sometimes, but they have some pretty good deals and inexpensive buys a lot of times. Either way, I read an article, and it's been some time ago, that the higher up or individual who was actually responding to the people at someone's question, but they're looking at bringing more of the self-checkout counters or areas there in Walmart, and eventually eliminating. It's going to be in the thousands. And the gentleman in this article, I don't have his name. Again, we're laid back here on our show, so again, it's not specifics, but they work. And again, you can always find the article somewhere out there. I'm sure it's out there, but in any event, it's going to eliminate thousands upon thousands of jobs. And so as much as we hate Walmart, this gentleman had made reference to the fact that, well, you guys complained about the pay, you complain about this, complain about that, complain about that. So guess what we're going to do? We're basically going to be squeezing these people out of their jobs. So, I mean, what are your thoughts about that, Jessica?
I'm all about automation in the self-checkout, but I think they should be designed for 10 to 15 articles. That's it. We get way too many people with basket loads of stuff, and then something happens. They don't know how to use the thing, or they don't know how to input their produce code in, or can't figure out the picture of what they have, and it's just ridiculous.
Jessica, I
I feel bad for the people who are going to be put out of a job, but that's the way we're going these days, and it's unfortunate. I still think that they need to have somebody on deck who can manually ring your items up for you, because these people and these self-checkouts, oh my God, it's so frustrating.
But you know what? To add to what you're saying, I like the automation too, but what happens when it's your job that's being taken due to the automation?
Oh, I agree. I just got through saying I feel bad for the people who are going to be put out of work, but this is the direction that most large stores are going to.
But could it be one of those things that it's like you're damned if you do, you damned if you don't? And in a way of people complaining about Walmart, and really, essentially, this is what the gentleman was saying, and he was kind of more of a, not the CEO, but he had a high-ranking level within Walmart organization. In any event, I think that's essentially what he's saying. He's saying, you damned if you do, damned if you don't, because these people complain, and not just the employees, but the people who maybe knew someone or knew friends or family who worked at Walmart. And I think essentially that's what he was saying, is that, hey, you know what? We're in between a rock and a hard place, because you're going to complain about this, you're going to complain about that, and it's all really affecting their bottom line. And that's the point of it. It's affecting their bottom line. So they're trying to get all these people who are complaining about it. And even as we have our issues with the big mart, they're trying to shut them up and say, hey, you complain about it. Now we're going to put the self-checkouts, and whether they got 3 items or 50 items, trying to check items out, and they don't know how to work the scanner there and trying to figure it out. I think it's something of of an issue. So I'll
just sum it up with 3 words: business is business. So it is what it is. Sorry, folks.
Wow, that's it. There's nothing that we can do about that to fix that. What?
No.
Oh, wow. Anyways, what's your next topic?
I got a doozy of one.
Really? Love to hear this one.
The next topic is a Dear Abby piece that I found on Yahoo.
Yeah.
This one's good.
Love it.
I'm going to go ahead and just read it.
All right, go ahead.
I'm not going to read her response, but I'm just going to read the article. Dear Abby, for the past year, I've been married to a man I love with all my heart.
Ooh.
But we have yet to reside in the same house. Let me stop right there. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
They don't reside in the same house. I think that's awesome. That's the best relationship to have. Call me.
You are so hard. That's horrible.
Anyway, it gets better than that. Oh my God. It's actually borderline ridiculous. So
not according to you.
I mean, that's the best part of this article. You'll find out in just a moment.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
He lives in another city with his child's mother. Wrong. And gives me excuse after excuse as to why he won't leave.
So is he cheating on her?
It's either that he's scared to have to pay child support, or he's afraid of my temper, which I'm seeking help for, or it's just not the right time.
That's hilarious.
I think I should take priority over his child's mother because I'm his wife. I am fed up with the excuses and ready to call it quits. What should I do? Signed, married, but alone in Maryland. I think that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen or read.
Wow.
Okay, I'm all for being married and living in a different residence, but not like that. He's
like
living
that.
with the baby's mama. Are you serious? And you allow that?
Very, very interesting.
So what are you writing Dear Abby for? That's so ridiculous.
You know how to pick the real winners,
You
Jessica.
just go ahead and call. Yes, you need to call it quits.
Well, it sounds
Case
like you
closed,
really need to
nothing
pick the
to think
winners.
about.
You know what? We're going to take a break Jessica,
Okay.
and we'll be right back because
Okay.
I got some more for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, nice music. I love it. Anyways, if you are just tuning in with us, you're listening to the Curtis and Jessica Variety Talk Show. Thanks for checking us out here on Spreaker. We are live here each Wednesday from 10 p.m., about 45 minutes, and then on Sunday at 3 p.m., and that's going to be Central Standard Time. Also, before we get further into this discussion that I want to finish up that Jessica had started, it was very interesting. Once more, if you're just tuning in, we are talking about, or we've already talked about, if you missed it, you'll be able to download it from our Spreaker account. And also we are on SoundCloud. So I've actually been busy on today. Let me mention also that we have a Twitter account that we just recently set up, and that's going to be Kurt and Jessica show. I couldn't use Curtis because they wouldn't allow me to. Any event, you can only have so many letters. So, nevertheless, we are stuck with Kurt and Jessica show. They're on Twitter.
He said, call me Kurt.
Wow, that's not for this. That's for something else.
Oh, my bad.
That's horrible. Jeez, all my stuff out there. Any event, you can contact us on Twitter if you'd like to, again, be a part of the conversation that's happening right now on Twitter. And also, if you'd like to know more information about the show, or you have something that you want to share, like something you'd like to hear at some point, or just even suggestions, give us a call, or send us an email. Our email address is the Curtis and Jessica Variety Show at gmail.com. Once more, the Curtis and Jessica Variety Show at gmail.com. And again, the Skype lines are open if you'd like to get in on the hot topics that we're discussing. Woo, yeah. There are, our Skype username is going to be Curtis and Jessica.
Yeah, Jessica.
Curtis and Jessica on Skype. In event, there you will find us there on Skype. Check us out there. Again, get involved in a conversation. You'd like to respond to something we've already talked about. We'd love to hear from you.
Or if there's any kind of, you come up with any topics that you'd like for us to discuss in our next show, feel free to leave that information and we'll go ahead and see what we can find and we'll talk about it.
Sounds good. Sounds groovy.
Okay, so before we took our short break, which you heard the sexy music, again, that's a place for you business owners. If you'd like for us to do some type of advertising for you, feel free to let us know. We'll go ahead and slide you into that spot and you'll hear your ad rather than just music. But at any rate, I was reading the information on this, or reading the Dear Abby article where the lady wrote in, her husband and her live in separate residence, but he lives with his baby's mama. And she wants to know whether or not she needs to call it quits. I don't have a position on that anymore. I think I've already stated what that is, and that's just, to me, it's just totally ridiculous. Let's hear it from a man's perspective.
Why don't you have a position? You always have a position.
Well, I think it's ridiculous. She should divorce him. Case closed.
Yeah, that's actually, that's very interesting. And I'm glad you brought that up and just kind of, filled me in again. Because when you're so busy over here doing just all kinds of stuff.
All that behind the scenes stuff that I don't know anything about.
Right. Right. In the event. So thanks for the recap. But it's very interesting because I think sometimes, I don't know if it's just a people thing or even just a man thing or a woman thing. Sometimes people just don't know when to stop and let go and quit and just, so I'm in agreement with you. on this topic here. So I think